Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new viewer of the channel, then thank you so much for coming along. I hope this will be a good video. Now, what I'm here to do today is to tell you my weigh-in results for week 43 of my weigh-ins with Slimming World, and I can't wait to tell you more about it, so please stay tuned. So after last week's gain, I was not disappointed. I wanted to move on and continue to progress with my weight loss journey, and that is what I've done this week. But before I get into more details about the important stuff in here, then I will just take this opportunity, if you don't mind, to just ask if you're not already a subscriber, if you are enjoying my videos, my content, if you're wanting to see how I progress going forward, then please do subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. Without my subscribers and without the support of every single one of you at home, I would not be making these videos right now for you. I love making the videos. I do it in my spare time, but I also really appreciate that you spend your spare time watching my videos, and that is the biggest compliment that I could ever expect. So thank you so much. I also want to thank my members and my viewers, and of course everyone who may or may not come across my channel on social medias as well. I do have TikTok, and I also have an Instagram account. I'm not too active on my Instagram account, but if you do want to email me directly for some advice or some support, you can contact me at scottishfoodielassie@gmail.com. Thanks. So this week has been a really good week. I was off on annual leave last week, as some of you may know, and so I was back to my normal 9 to 5 working routine this week. So I was working Good Friday, I'm working Easter Sunday, and I'm also working Easter Monday and Monday to Friday, so Easter Monday and for the rest of the week next week as well. And what I will say is that I did mention this in my previous video, but planning and routine are incredibly important, and it is two of the most key things I could ever recommend any of you at home to get on board with. You really have to invest in you by investing in your time and prioritising your time. If you prioritise your time with regards to your meal prepping and your planning, even if it is one day at a time, then you are already a huge step ahead compared to other people who don't make plans and who don't have a backup should they ever fall into a situation that may mean that they choose a less than ideal food option if they are trying to lose weight, just like me. So with regards to the Slimming World plan, obviously I have been doing this for 43 weeks now, which is quite unreal to think about. We are obviously less than 10 weeks away from the year mark, and it feels really, really good. I feel comfortable, I feel happy, and I'm just so grateful for every single person that's watching this video right now. The level of support and the encouragement, the lovely compliments, and of course, as always, the people who always give me their experiences are fantastic, because you're the people that matter to me. I know that I can try to give you some advice, but at the end of the day, most of you will be on your own weight loss journeys at home. And I am one person in a huge number of people who you can rely on for support, if that's from YouTube or your group, if you go to attend a group, if you are part of any Facebook or Instagram groups and things like that. And of course, people on TikTok, there are thousands of people, if not more than that, who do talk about their Slimming World journeys, their weight loss journeys, whether it's with Slimming World or not, and of course their lifestyle changes and choices that these people have made, which might make you feel like you would be able to achieve that. So at the moment, I am really, really keen to try to get my 6 stone award for going to Copenhagen. So we go there in about 10 days time, I think. Just quickly thinking about it in the top of my head. Don't quote me on that, but it's about 10 days away. So I do have my phone in front of me here. So I will just let you know the exact number that I'm sitting at right now. So if you haven't watched my channel before, I started Slimming World at 21 stone and half a pound. I had been heavier than that before I started Slimming World, and I had tried to lose a little bit of weight on my own. Now, I don't know what weight I was when I started to lose weight, because I was too scared to jump on the scales, basically. I was feeling incredibly low. low, depressed, alone, very isolated in my head, and I was basically just living day to day. Whereas now I feel really happy, I feel vibrant, I feel content with life, I feel like I'm making excellent progress in lots of different aspects of my life, not just weight loss. A lot of it has come along to getting things sorted out, like bank accounts, life insurance, the home improvements that we're doing, and being better with money. And being better with money goes hand in hand with making better food choices, because I'm not spending lots of money on buying lots of food that I actually didn't and do not need, because I just gained weight. And then look where we're at. I'm obviously having to get rid of it all again. So that has been a massive improvement for me. I feel so much more confident within myself. I don't worry so much. And I am the person that I feel I want to be, which is so important, because once we grow up into adults, we want to find ourselves. And I very much did find myself, but I also lost myself. And it's been a fantastic journey for me to learn more about myself and to learn more about how good life can be when I feel good. And I wouldn't be here talking about this if I wasn't on a weight loss journey. So at the moment, what I will say to you is, if I can get this up here, is my weight loss at the moment, my total weight loss is currently sitting at 5 stone, 10.5 pounds. So 5 stone, 10.5 pounds, and that equates to over 80 pounds. So let me just calculate that for you, because my brain's just went numb. So 80.5 pounds. Yep, 80.5 pounds. And I can't believe it, to be honest. I'm really happy, and that's all I can say about it. I'm trying not to get emotional here. A lot of people ask me how I manage my emotions, but when you're in a much better frame of mind because you feel better within yourself, you inevitably do automatically deal with things better. You're not as angry, you're not as upset, you're not as depressed, you're not as paranoid, you're not as worried. You know, there are lots of things that go along with weight loss and self-esteem, self-confidence, that have held me back, and I will not lie to you about that, have held me back from lots of situations over the years, hundreds, thousands probably, of things I've wanted to do or say or think or try, and I haven't done them. I've not done it, and it's been because of my weight. And it's never affected me because of my, you know, in my job. I haven't, it's never stopped me. I'm in an excellent position within work. I've worked extremely hard. I do have a master's degree. I've got a bachelor's degree. I've got a HNC. I have worked incredibly hard to get to where I'm at in the last almost 11 years that I have been working within my professional role in healthcare. And the level that I'm at right now has only got even better in the last, I would say, 6 months or so, especially the last 3 months. The confidence that I have to teach at work, to stand up in front of a room, to present to my team, to question things, to ask when I don't think something may be right. You know, there are lots of things that really, really, really do tie into my work, and the level, the seniority that I'm at in my role. I feel my weight loss has dramatically increased my progress and my success myself within my role, and I feel it's benefited lots of others as well. So the list is endless with regards to the benefits of losing weight. So what I will say to you this week is that I did have a gain last week, as you may know if you've watched my previous weigh-in video, and I did have a gain of 1.5 pounds. So I did gain a little bit of weight, and that was because I was on annual leave. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly did enjoy it. But as I said to yourselves last week, I was completely straight back on it again as usual, as I always am. And over the course of my whole journey of getting to 80 pounds, and 80.5 pounds so far, I have only gained 2 pounds in that whole time. Sorry, 2.5 pounds in that whole time. So I can't beat myself up about it. I shouldn't, and you shouldn't, and you should just move on, because life's too short. We have things that come up, We have pressures upon ourselves, we have external stressors, we have internal stressors, we have things that go wrong on a day to day, and unfortunately, that is what they call life. And these things are out with our control. What we can control is how we deal with things. And I honestly can assure you, binge eating is not the answer. I have done it for years. I have done it for happiness, for sadness, for upset, for concern, for worry, for a bad day, for doing it to celebrate something. It is not good for you. I can assure you, as a person that's eaten a breakfast and then had something else and then bought a sandwich and eaten that and then had biscuits and then had my lunch and then had another lunch and then came home and had snacks or a sandwich or crisps and then had dinner and then maybe had something else later on at night. I've went from having takeaways 3 or 4 times a week at night. I think the lowest point, myself and my husband ordered a takeaway pizza with chips and cheese at midnight, and we ate it and then we went straight to sleep. That was my life. I cannot give you any more raw than that. That was what made me feel good, and that was what I did. I used to wake up in the morning with a banging headache, so much so the first thing I wanted to do was to go and eat something, because I knew for a fact it was probably a false reading, but my body was telling me my blood sugar was low. And after not checking it, because I don't have a monitor in the house, I think my body was telling me my blood sugar was low because it was so used to having a constant flow of sugar and glucose within my blood that the minute I didn't eat for any more than, say, 5, 6 hours for when I go to sleep at night, my body would wake me up in the morning with a banging headache to tell me to eat, and I would go and eat. And it got rid of the headache, funnily enough. So you become reliant upon these things. You feel tired, you eat. You feel tired, well, it must be because I'm tired. I need to eat more food. It's never about making sure you're hydrated. And again, that's one of the most important things I've learned, is to always drink something before I eat something. And it's just to make sure that I can fill myself up a little bit and see how I feel. And if that's still not enough, then I know I can have I need some food, and that's absolutely fine. But what I can tell you is that my messaging system from between my stomach to my brain now works. It's not impacted by constant freedom to eat whatever and whenever I want in a bad way. It's allowed me to become empowered with regards to how and when I eat. And I know that when I do eat, I am going to be filling myself up with nutritious, healthy foods that I enjoy, I like the taste of, I enjoy cooking, and of course are also most of the time cost effective as well, which therefore means I'm not worrying about money. So money is a massive worry for most of us, and of course with the economy changing as well, something had to give. And if it wasn't my bank account, it was going to be my health. My health was already at such significant risk. I noticed it and I had to do something about it. I've spoken about this before, and what I have said is that I was working from home one day last May, the 25th of May. That was when I joined Summer World. I had sat at home all day working and feeling very, very low at the time, but also something was beginning to fire up within me that made me think there is more to life than this. There is more to you than this. You are not just fat and obese, morbidly obese, clinically obese, to be honest, and you are more than a binge eater. You are more than that, and you have been, and you need to get back to it. And I joined Summer World that very night because I knew if I didn't do it then, I might not have done it at all. And if you're already going down a very self-destructive path, there's quite little within your head that will stop you from doing that. But something gave me the fright, and I can assure you, as I've spoken about it before, I had a bath and I could not get out of the bath. I had to ask my husband to help me tie my shoelaces. I was struggling to get in and out of my car. I've got quite a low car, and I was struggling to get in and out of it. Getting to the point where I was struggling to get in and out of it, and also fitting, I've got quite a sporty car, and sitting in the seat, I was actually uncomfortable because my fat on my hips and my bum and my back, my sides were pressing against the door and the armrest and the seatbelt. And let me tell you, when you drive a really lovely car that you've worked all of your life for to this point, to have, to dream about, to pay for a lot of money, and to not enjoy driving it, that is just soul destroying. And driving is really important to me. Having a nice car is important to me. I enjoy driving. I love cars. It's a really big passion of mine, and James's as well. And that was one of the main things for me, was thinking, if you don't lose weight, you're not going to be able to drive. If you don't lose weight, you're not going to be able to fit in your car and or get out of it. And if you don't lose weight, you're going to die. You're going to die. And there's not much more to it than that. It's quite clear cut, living at a weight of over 20 stone for a prolonged period of time. It's not even what you can see on the outside physically regards my shape or what my shape was. The inside, I can assure you, is so much worse. So much worse. And I still worry about the effects that I've caused my body. I still worry about it now. But all I can do now is move forward, like many of you will live at home, knowing that you have made significant lifestyle changes and you have made your life so much more than what it would ever have been if you continued to eat and gain weight. So what I will say is that I did have a loss this week, and my loss was a massive 4.5 pounds. And that in itself, of course, takes me to a 5 stone, 10.5 pounds loss. So I've got 3.5 pounds to lose. I would love to be able to lose that 3.5 pounds or more, if possible, before I go to Copenhagen on the 11th of April. Now, if that's possible, then I would be over the moon. I would be ecstatic. I would be jumping about. But if it's not, I'm not going to beat myself up about it, because I know I'll get it the week we come back. So there's not much in it regards time, but I would also love to try to be able to get to a 6.5 stone loss for going to Tenerife in May. So again, it's not that far away, so I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, but I think having small goals has always helped me, and aiming for between a third of a stone and half a stone at a time, for me, I would recommend trying not to get too ahead of yourself and breaking it down. So if we think about losing half a stone, that might be too much for us. Breaking it down to losing £2 a time can be really quite helpful, and I've used it at times as a coping mechanism to help me get through tougher times, and you're still progressing regardless. So always remember, if you think you've had a bad day, there will be things within that day that have been good. There will be things within that day that you've done differently to what you would have done before. And knowing that you've maybe done a little bit much or a little bit more than you would have ideally liked to have done is also a positive, because you're being able to know that in your head, you've recognised it, you've addressed it, which is one thing, and you're going to make a plan to move forward. It may be that it takes you a few days to get back onto plan. It may be a few weeks. But as I said, within those days to those weeks of what you feel is a struggle, as I've said to many of you before on the comment section, you will and are making consistent change, and sometimes the changes that we do make are not always so obvious. So please do remember that. Don't beat yourself up. You are all absolutely amazing people, and I am really appreciative for all of the support that you give me, but you also give support to one another as well. And I'm sure everyone around you are seeing the positive effects, or if you are following a healthy lifestyle, the positive effects of these changes that you're making. So if anyone's having a little bit of a tough weekend and it is Easter, then please don't worry, because we have many more Easters to look forward to. If this one is maybe where you're just about starting off with things and getting the ball rolling, literally with the egg, excuse the pun, with regards to, moving things forward. And I don't think we can ever be too harsh on ourselves. I think we need to all be kind to ourselves and be kind to one another. I have seen a few comments recently on other people's posts, sadly, which have been less than helpful and less than kind. But thankfully, I have never had any of those comments, and that is a huge testament to the support that every single one of you have given me over the last 43 weeks. So please do take care, have a fantastic Easter, enjoy a little bit of what you like and what you want. It isn't the end of the world, and as I said, we have lots more Easters to look forward to. So if you want to restrict yourself a little bit, or if you don't, then you're doing what's right for you, and that is all that matters. So please do take care. Thank you so much. Sending love to all of you, and I will catch you on the next video. Thank you so much. Bye.